So Zine Futures is a project exploring the ideals and the realities of the post-independence years in both Tanzania and Uganda. The two countries, they're neighbouring, but they have connected histories, but also quite different histories in terms of the post-independence years. They thought it would be a really interesting way in which visual artists can look at the realities of what we are facing or what we are living in our day-to-day lives in Tanzania and Uganda through this format of zines. The brilliant thing about zines is that they're independent, you make them yourself. Nobody is going to tell you what it is that you have to do, what you need to do, what you can or what you can't say. It's completely up to you. And that freedom, I think it's so important as an artist, so important to feel that you have that freedom. For visual artists, perhaps it's a quieter medium, and yet the power in zines is that these are things that can be made very, very simply and then reproduced and disseminated quite quickly. The energy in those 2 weeks in Dar es Salaam and Kampala it was just amazing. It was really strong. They were just so excited to be making art and bouncing ideas off of each other. It's not just exciting, dynamic, progressive projects that are coming from the West. There are things that are being birthed, and have blossomed within East Africa that are hugely important and significant in terms of the cultural heritage of the region. So at the starting point for the Zine Futures project is a magazine called Transition, which started in 1961 in Kampala, and I would argue to date is one of the most progressive magazines to ever come out of East Africa. Scary and intimidating to deal with some of the issues that they did. They faced a lot of persecution. The editorial team faced a lot of persecution of some of the articles that they wrote. And yet you had heads of state who were writing in Transition magazine. The founding father for Tanzania, and Julius Nyerere, he himself wrote articles. The nice thing was about being able to show examples of zines. I wanted the artist to be able to recognise that there was this hugely influential journal. So for me, the only way is up, because it is something that is quite new. You know, zines are so much about communities and partnerships, and you're going to an event and speaking with people and finding out about their own different ideas and their own different thoughts and backgrounds. And if a zine event is something that can encourage greater sharing and networking, that would be something that would be very, very good for Dar es Salaam. But even thinking a little bit wider, just in terms of connecting East African cities and Southern African cities, that would be a very positive thing.